The first thing I ever recall hearing, if you will, whether clairaudiently or channeling or out of connection with spirit, I asked, what's the most important information that I can hear in this moment from spirit? And there were just two words, disdain nothing. And I really had to think about that or contemplate that, because that kind of covers everything in one way or another. To say if we disdain nothing, then we will accept everything and we'll learn from everything and evolve from everything and be accelerated in that evolution of learning and evolution by disdaining nothing and accepting everything as it truly is. So that was really a very helpful statement. And if we disdain nothing and accept all that is as it is, without distortion, without projection, without imagining, without fear, without judgment, without aversion, then everything just works more smoothly and quicker and accelerates in a healthy, wholesome way. So we would ask, what in regard to the transformation of the whole world right now, what do the words disdain nothing mean in terms of being able to generate a sustainable future for the common good of all, including nature, the ecosystem, and the planet? So does that mean, is it just good to meditate on our navel, so to speak, and let the war in between Russia and Ukraine unfold as it will? Or Assad in Syria murder 250,000 people, or just let wars happen? No. And that said, and this is part of the challenge of an evolutionary process. We look at the whole history of humanity as the gestational evolutionary process and container for all the souls that are here. So it's like an evolutionary process, crossing a threshold, a collective threshold from spiritual babyhood to some next step, however evolved we would say that could be. Are there training wheels processes along the way? Is war, murder, pestilence, abuse, slavery, evil, as it's labeled, a necessary learning process for souls? If you want to generate, if you have a system we call a planet, to generate what might be termed good universal citizens, where they can go in and they can slug it out in their babyhood and learn not to fight on the playground because it costs too much, mentally, emotionally, in just innumerable ways. Is it good to have us in this container so we don't act out our ignorance in the rest of the universe before we're evolved enough to go out there and play responsibly? As a species, we've been developing adaptive technologies now for a long time, and that process of adaptive technology development has accelerated dramatically and rapidly, computers, internet, etc., just in the last 100 years. And what that and that, of course, is taking its toll on the planet. Our population is increasing. We've gotten forever chemicals in the rain. We've got plastics in our blood because they're in the food chain. So that process of evolution of the species as a collective is accelerating until we are at this choice point of, do we apply these adaptive technologies to take the next accelerating step of consciousness as a collective and leave behind all of the training wheels of tribalism, populism, nationalism, genderism, ageism, hatred, war, fear, unhealthy tendencies, unwillingness to live constantly from unconditional love, compassion, care, service, intentions, and respecting and honoring the common good collectively without it being a rules-based system of laws and judgment and punishment. It's simply that people understand this is what is going to serve, or they're always recognized to be trying to do their very, very best in that regard. If anyone makes not a mistake, we would suggest there's only choices that we learn from. If they make an unwise choice, an ignorant choice, an uninformed choice, or a fearful choice, or an addicted choice, or an ego-based choice, or a tribal-based choice, do we hate them for that? Do we put them in jail? Do we kill them? Or do we offer them a space for collaboration with others in which they can learn to love, care, grow, and heal into consciousness together? And do we have the technology to support that capacity now as a species? Yes. The question is, will we wake up quick enough to apply it broadly enough, along with the requisite information, educational information, transformational education that's available all over the world now, if we apply it all in a well-integrated, synthesized way, then we get a catalytic global result in a 100th monkey shift into collective consciousness. If you're familiar with the 100th monkey theory, a collective shift into consciousness because of the efforts of just a few % of the population of the world.